Hi Stampers, I am excited to share a project with you this morning featuring Sea of Textures, but it's not a card. It is a treat box, and it is inspired by the treat box that is in the annual catalog on the Sea of Textures page. So if you don't have a copy of the current Stampin' Up! Catalog, the one that came out this summer, make sure you reach out to me, send me an email or something like that. If you don't have a demonstrator you work with already, I'd be happy to get one in the mail to you. We are going to talk about the tips for how to get those beads to stay in the bottom where you want them. And I have some really cool ideas for how I figured out how to make that happen. So grab your Stamps the Mail Club kit or grab your supplies. You can place an online order through my store for any of the things that you see in my videos, and let's get stamping. All right, when you get ready to make your box, my advice is to double check that bag that I package all the pieces in and make sure that everything's out of there, because there is a clear 2x2 inch piece of window sheet, which I don't know if you can see or not, but it is easy to lose. So go ahead and set your pieces aside, making sure you know where you put that window sheet. And I'm going to start with these tiny treat boxes. They come with a plastic coating to keep them safe, and you want to go ahead and peel that off. If you forget, you're going to find this little cloudy piece on there and wonder what's wrong with your box. So first things first, for these, you want to fold on all of the score lines. These are really amazing, high quality plastic boxes, so they're wonderful for putting little treats in, for putting little candies in, but they are really just a nice quality. They're nice and heavy. I have a really great tip for remembering what to do first when you get to the bottom of the box. And it's kind of like when you walk up to like an office building at the same time as someone else, and you reach the door handle and then you open the door so the other person can go first. So you first is kind of like what you would say. It'd be like, oh, that's okay, go ahead, you first. So you first. There's one of these flaps that is shaped like a U. You goes first. Okay, then you're going to put the sides in, and then you're going to take this last pointy piece and put it in last, and your box will just pop together. It's like magic. So that's it. Okay, so just remember you first, and you will have a good time putting these boxes, and of course other things that are similarly designed. Next, the window sheet. Okay, my favorite containment tool for the sprinkles is this clear box. One of the extra stamp cases, you can order these in the catalog. So I'm going to grab my sprinkles, and I am going to peel off one edge of the piece of the Big Shot multi-purpose or Big Shot adhesive sheets here. So basically this is a piece of adhesive between two pieces of paper. It doesn't matter which side you peel first. Sometimes you got to work at a corner to get that off. But when you peel that, then you're going to take it and line it up. Okay, here's the window sheet, here's the adhesive. You're actually going to put the adhesive onto the window sheet. Okay, all right, so squish that pretty well so that you get that nicely adhered. And then you're going to peel the backing paper off. Make sure your adhesive stays on the window sheet. It should be no problem. Now, can you see that on there? And then after you peel that, or you can kind of keep your hand handy so that it's easier to handle, you're going to pop some beads on there and just squish them around, and they are going to stick to that adhesive layer. So peel that backing away and pop some beads on. I love these little sprinkles. They just are a fun accent. Now I'm squishing these down because I really want them to be just a single layer here on my adhesive sheet. And depending on what you're going to add to this box, it's really sweet with like Hershey's Kisses. So the little silver Hershey's Kisses wrappers, they are a really nice complement to the color scheme. But whatever you're going to put in there, you don't want to stick to your beads at the bottom. So go ahead and cover up as much of that as you can. And then you have to go ahead and get the stragglers that are poking off the side off, because they're not going to fit in our box. Okay, so then you can take this and gather your beads to the center and pour them back in your container. And then this is going to go into our box. So I'm going to, again, encourage all the beads to be on the front side of our box, and then this is going to slide down into the bottom. So then you can have that cool layer of beads at the bottom without having them all pop off all over the place. You might have one or two, depending on how you press your beads in, that might pop up here and there, but still much better than having them all. Now this piece here, I'm going to pop onto our back of our little aquarium box. And this is gonna have to, it's cut 2 by 2 to match. Ah! Okay, there's a thing right there. Make sure that you don't let your snail adhesive grab onto the plastic. Snail and plastic go together like nothing else. So once it's bonded, once it grabs, it's grabbed. And so you want to make sure you get that all the way in there. Okay. All right, and then this is going to close up. I have a couple pieces I'm going to attach on the inside. I have this die cut here from Under the Sea, and then this other dark coral die cut, and I like the dark on the inside because it kind of gives you that depth effect from the dark. And here we have some mini glue dots. So I'm going to pop a folded mini glue dot on the front of each of these, and then these are going to actually adhere inside our box. We'll open it a tiny bit. These are going to adhere inside our box at the front, and they are going to, oh, it wanted to grab onto a piece of something there. All right, so they're going to give our little aquarium dimension from the inside, okay? And then we're going to decorate the front of our box. So this is a relatively simple deal. I have 2 pieces of coral. I have this mint macaron one here, and this one, which is Whisper White. And let's see, my stamp isn't clean. I'm gonna grab my scrub. Oh, hey, when you're buying those boxes, make sure you get one for your, set one aside for your chamois, the favorite new stamp cleaning tool. Really, you just press in and it's like an ink magnet. It just sucks that ink off of there. Okay, so then I'm going to ink up in mint macaron. And when I stamp on die cuts, I would stamp upside down. And so place that down, add your die cut, stamp it with another clear block, and then you have your die cut ready to go. And then these I'm going to pop on with mini glue dots on the back. And the reason I'm using mini glue dots instead of dimensionals is that they're clear, so they won't be quite as obtrusive when we have our finished box. So I'm going to layer those together kind of like that. You just need to make sure that they don't go below the bottom of the box because you want this to set nicely. And then here in my Fresh Fig ink, I am going to, do you see how to turn that over? Like what color is this Fresh Fig? Oh, look, mint macaron. I don't even have to turn this over. So one of the things, let's see, when you get your labels, I think I still have, see, here's the old labels. When you get your labels for these new flippy ink pads, there's actually an extra label here that doesn't have any writing on it, and it's meant to go right here in the tray. Now, some people found that they had trouble getting it into the tray. I didn't think it was too bad, but what you might do instead is just pop it right here on the edge of your ink pad, so then it'll still show when you are stamping, but you don't have to like flip your pads all upside down and try and figure out what color that is, like this one. Okay, so Fresh Fig, I'm going to ink up this You're One of a Kind and stamp it here on my very large piece of cardstock. And then I'm going to trim this down so that it's pretty tiny. The font on this is nice and small, so you want to trim this pretty small so that it's within the right scale for the font. If you leave that big clunky paper on there, it might look a little off just because the font size and the paper size don't match very well. So I'm going to do a little cute You're One of a Kind. And then this baby I am going to go ahead and put on with one mini Stampin' Dimensional, which are just the perfect size for so many fun things. And so this gets peeled off and popped on here. We're almost done with our sweet little box, You're One of a Kind. So our cute aquarium box. And the last thing I'm going to do is grab this stamp here and my Tranquil Tide. I have a pre-punched Designer Series paper circle. I'm going to pop that on there. And then you want to grab a hole punch or a pokey tool and go ahead and punch a hole. This one is an 1/8 inch right in the middle. And then both ends of your ribbon are going to end up on the same side. So actually, if you take the rounded end, I just folded it a loop in the middle and poke that through. That's, I think, the easiest way to go. And then that is going to go around your box like this. And then this pops up on top. And you can go ahead and tie your medium baker's twine in a bow. And then you have your cute little box topper. I'll turn that little disc back this way. Your cute little box topper to go with your little mini aquarium. So again, lots of things fit in here. This box is 2 inches by 2 inches. So it's the nice size to put some candy, but not have to like break the bank and buy like, 50 pounds of Hershey's Kisses to go in these cute little boxes. So you can make a whole bunch of them. They would be really sweet, like massed together as a favor for a party. Just think outside of the box, on using these, and on using your Sea of Texture stamp set, which is just one of my favorites from the annual catalog. So if you would like to request a kit for this kit, well, you could request a kit too, but if you'd like to request a kit for this, you can visit my website at lovenstamps.com and find the Stamps in the Mail Club tab and go ahead and fill out a request form there. Or you can just send me an email at meg@lovenstamps.com, and I would be happy to let you know if I have any kits available. So thank you so much for watching. I look forward to sharing more projects with you soon. Happy stamping!